Hey everyone, it's Mare from SickMom. Just wanted to check in. It's day 2 of eating on a carnivore eating plan. So far so good. It's not awful. It's a good thing that I really like cooking meat because so far already, I made some ground turkey last night that turned out really well. Oh, thank God for my Instant Pot. I just love it. It's so nice if you're having to do any kind of like a pan frying or anything, you can use the saute function on your Instant Pot, and because it's so deep that you don't get as much splatter. I still have like a splatter shield to put over the top of the pot. But yeah, way less mess and so easy to clean up. And today I've got a double batch of pulled pork in the Instant Pot as well. And I've got some ground beef that's thawing right now in the fridge for some burgers that I'll put together. But so far I've had a really great question from one of my friends, Hannah. She was wondering, well, what do you typically eat in a day? That was one of the first questions that I asked when I was thinking of trying this out. So, yesterday it involved bacon and eggs, which was really nice. And butter and using bacon fat and all of that is allowed. So I was actually able to cook the eggs in a little bit of bacon fat. It's really good. These are the things that, you only dream of because ever since I was a kid, it's like, no, you shouldn't use that stuff. It's not good for you. Well, okay, I'm just going all in with this, and like I said, we're going to see how it goes. I am making an appointment with my doctor because I do want to get some baseline blood work done. There's apparently a couple of calculations you can do with cholesterol numbers that will show you whether or not you actually have the ideal ratio. I'll explain more about that once I've got some test results that I can share with you. But it's not like I'm doing this and not talking to my doctor about it. I'm going to tell her that I'm doing it and that I realize it's kind of extreme measures, but she has also been with me through the denials of referrals and going through years of tests trying to figure out what was happening within my body. So with her perseverance and her kindness, we were able to get to the right people that could actually diagnose me with all of the wonderful things I mentioned in the first video. I also wanted to say too that I had done a previous video to the one that I posted yesterday, and I realized that I didn't film it in landscape orientation, which I prefer, so I had to do it over again. There were a couple of things that I left out of that video, so I'm trying to address a couple of those things here now. So yeah, but day 2 of eating was some of the leftover turkey that I made yesterday, and I did have a couple of olives yesterday and today. Not a big deal. It's not like it's the end of the world that I had a few olives because, like I said, I'm trying to ease into this. Yeah, so anyhow, I'll keep sharing my journey with you. I do appreciate any comments that you have, and if you want to share this out with people who might be interested, especially if there's people in the chronic illness community that who may benefit from some of this information, or if they want to see someone else go through it and tell them what it's like before they give it a try. I do strongly recommend, though, that you make sure that your healthcare providers are aware of what you're doing so that you can track things like your blood work, make sure that you're not doing anything to damage yourself. But so far, results have actually been very promising with the other testimonials that I've read and interviews that have been done with other people, is that they saw their cholesterol state just fine or actually drop lower. And that's that very important ratio that we were talking about that indicates, if you're doing okay, because sometimes the numbers of just looking at your HDLs or your LDLs isn't going to tell the full story. So it's much better to continue down the road and do a little bit of extra math to see what you're really dealing with. Another thing too that I wanted to mention, and that I see a lot of people on, like for instance, I also joined the I believe it's called the Women Carnivore Tribe on Facebook. There's over 21,000 members, and I think this group only started a year ago. And it's a very supportive, happy place to be. I really enjoy reading some of the posts and the great ideas and for recipe ideas and, you know, challenges that people have run into.
But the miracle that is editing. I have some pulled pork with me. Just came out of the Instant Pot and it's so good. One of the other things I love about having an Instant Pot, and I so rely on this feature, is the fact that after you have had a cooking cycle, whatever one it is that you've chosen, there's a keep warm feature. If you just make sure that button's clicked before you select your other cooking program and that the keep warm light is on, what'll happen is as soon as your cooking cycle is done, it goes to keep warm for 12 hours. Do you want to talk about having some peace of mind when you're cooking, when you're not feeling well, and, you know, have to take a nap, don't want to worry about, oh my goodness, I've got something in the oven and it's going to, you know, take this amount of time. What if I don't wake up in time? I don't want to burn food. So yeah, this resolves a whole lot of those issues. But I did decide that what I'm going to do with some of this pulled pork is I'm going to lay it out on a cookie sheet and put it in the oven and do kind of like a carnitas sort of pork that I've had in different Mexican restaurants in the US, where it's essentially, it's like a pulled pork and it's shredded and they just put chunks of it. They either fry it or bake it until it gets nice and crispy. So you have a little bit of extra texture. So I think that'll be good. I was really encouraged to see that there's a lot of people recommending things like, oh, why don't you use a Frank's Red Hot or whatever. I love hot sauce. I did not, actually my hot sauce is right there and I just love it. I didn't want to have to give that up because you don't have to use a lot. And so I'm sure that this one's going to be fine. They keep saying, you know, about the whole 0 calorie thing. Well, I don't count calories. I never have, but apparently this sauce has no calories. So it's all good. Yeah. And I had remembered what I was going to tell you yesterday that I forgot, and it's gone again. That's what happens after having a 3-day crash and you have brain fog and you're still trying to sort out your thoughts. Today is much clearer, obviously. Yesterday was a rough day. I had more or less spent 3 days horizontal in the dark, just trying to recuperate, and the weather change hit. And then something popped out in my neck. I still can't really turn my head to the left. That's about as far as I can go right now. An improvement. I couldn't even do that yesterday when I woke up. So, yeah, so far so good, people. And if you have more questions or you're curious or you have suggestions, menu ideas are always welcome. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine today and I said, oh, you know what would be really good? Cheese fondue, but instead of with bread, with meat. And I've done that before. I've taken a really nice sausage, like a dry sausage, a Landjager or something like that, for cheese fondues, and usually serve that with bread. So now I'm going, oh, well, you know, if we did not always necessarily sausage, but if I had some meat there and that, you know, would go really nicely with cheese. Yeah. I just have to say there's something my sister used to do and that we both really enjoyed when we were teenagers. And I don't know why this just popped into my head, but we used to take sausage, like whether it was kielbasa or like a garlic sausage coil, and cut out rounds. And then my sister thought that this is brilliant. You take like a mozzarella cheese and you cut a square of it and you put it on top, and then she'd like fry the sausage and let the cheese kind of melt all over it, which was really nice. I am really trying to keep my processed foods down, and as far as cheese and dairy goes, I'm probably going to stick more to hard cheeses, which I like anyway. I like the saltiness and the flavor, so it's not going to be really hard to, you know, stick to that choice. But yeah, so I'm just really happy to be sharing this with you and have you on my journey. So if you like this video, just remember to click the like button, give me a little thumbs up, and hit subscribe. And don't forget, you need to click on that bell as well for your notifications so you know when there's new videos that are coming out. I am going to be posting some teaser trailers on Instagram once I kind of get in the swing of things with the videos, because I still have a lot of footage that I've shot in the past year that I haven't edited together because there were sections that needed to get cleaned up and whatever. So I am trying to work on some of that post-production as well as bringing you videos while I'm going through this carnivore journey. So yeah, we'll talk to you soon. And this is SickMom. Check it out.